Any other highlight moments from just your experiences in Papua New Guinea? Anything you want to share?
I think most of my highlights just come from some of the patient interactions that you have of people coming to Christ or people getting healed. Just last week, I went into the emergency room and there was a guy on a bed, and he'd been carried in on a mattress, which is kind of common. And he had two people around him who I assumed were his parents or so. And I went up to try to attempt to take a history, or difficult, as I've just described. But I said, what happened? And they said he died yesterday. But then this morning, his heart started beating again. And so we brought him here. And so people say people die all the time and they might have just fainted or something. But I started to examine him and he wasn't responding. His eyes weren't responding. I was trying to create pain in him to get him to move. I was doing what's called a sternal rub. I was sticking my stethoscope into his leg and his arm just to try to get any movement. And it just helps us to know that someone is alive. And his heart was beating for sure. He was breathing, but there was no response. And I was thinking to myself, this guy isn't going to make it. He had a history of liver disease, and I assumed that he had some end-stage liver disease and was going to quickly pass away. And his heart rate was only in the 40s. He was bradycardic. And so I told the family, we can give him some IV fluid and a little bit of IV antibiotics, but I'm not sure that he's going to make it. And they said, yeah, can we please try? Sure. I didn't see him the next day. It was a weekend and I wasn't working that day. So I didn't see him the next day. The day after that, 2 days later, when I get to his bed, there's someone sitting on the bed. And I had to grab the chart and I had to ask that guy what his name was. And he tells me his name's Stephen. And the chart says Stephen. And I couldn't believe it, that this guy literally who I thought was about to go into the grave was sitting there talking to me. And so I just started asking him questions to make sure, are you really coherent? Like, have you forgotten things? How's your memory? He could answer every one of my questions. And so then I asked him, do you go to church? He said, yes. I said, do you know who Lazarus is? He said, yes. I said, I'm calling you Lazarus. Because I really felt like he had died, yet was risen again. So it's stories like that. They don't happen every day, but when they do, it's special to see. And it wasn't me. I didn't do anything. But God heals people. And yeah,